Hello, tonight we have news on robbery attacks, bird flu, politics, LGBTI matters, clean Ghana, child malnutrition, and many more. My name is Ernest Mino. Let's settle for the headlines now. And police in the central region hunt 4 armed robbers who attacked and shot a man at the Coronation Junction in the capital, Cape Coast, Wednesday.
And yati one shot from feed a type in it. One was a motto. What's on a man we're shooting? Ma, why just can across that share? No, a one who now wire for what's the motto? No, until one modern woman warning shot and seeing a beer one.
Veterinary Services caution citizens not to let their guards down as many more birds die from bird flu. Meanwhile, government assures poultry farmers who lost birds to the flu will soon be adequately compensated.
At the moment, I have a memo at Cabinet for seeking money for compensation to the farmers. So you better convey to them they shouldn't worry.
Also tonight, President Akufo-Addo extends Gender Minister Sarah Adwoa-Safo's leave indefinitely after a TikTok video of the minister singing went viral, prompting concerns by some members of the public. We'll tell you how her absence affected decision-making at the ministry and led to delayed payments in some cases. Later in business, no load shedding as Gridco commences work in part of Accra. We'll hear from the Electricity Company of Ghana.
We wish to state emphatically that the media houses that released the publication about the load shedding timetable did not get their facts correct.
Johnny's Prime is coming to you live from our Fandofa studios here at Kukumlemle Accra. We are live on DSTV channel 421, Go TV 144. This is your home of independent, fearless, credible, and impactful journalism. Stay tuned in for the details.
Hi, this is Lexus Bill, host of Drive Time on Joy 99.7 FM. Listen, you don't have to worry if you miss Drive Time or Personality Profile. It's going to be live on our podcast page. Just log on to www.myjoyonline.com/podcast. You can listen to Drive Time, Personality Profile, and any other of your favorite shows on Joy FM on that page. You don't have to miss a show at all. Joy 99.7 FM, radio for discerning listeners.
Hello there, many thanks for joining us. The Central Region Police Command is on the hunt for 4 armed robbers who attacked and shot a man at the Coronation Junction in Cape Coast. That's the capital of the region. The armed robbers were said to have trailed the 73-year-old man who had gone to the bank to withdraw an unspecified amount of money. The police have put a bounty of 5,000 Ghana cedis as a reward for anyone who volunteers credible information leading to the arrest of the suspect. Richard Kochinyako has more on the following report.
Eyewitnesses say the victim had just withdrawn an unspecified amount of money from the Ghana Commercial Bank to purchase something from the market. And upon reaching the mattress depot, the robbers on 2 motorbikes crossed him and asked him to surrender the money which had been kept in a rubber bag. The 4 armed men gave several warning shots that scared many at the Coronation Junction, one of the busiest places in Cape Coast. Many ran to seek protection during the operation that lasted for 5 minutes.
Okay, mama shop here and see one there. Yati one shot from feed a type in it. One was a motto. What's on a man we're shooting? Ma, why just can across that share? No, a one who now wire for what's the motto? No. Until one modern woman warning shot and seeing a beer one. Say you can't able shop when he hasn't shop game. He hasn't shop game by Jama on wasn't a quite. Boys too, across that man or be also well. Instead of bleed the party, or the look of foam now was soon. Now the shop again, Mushroom, my crab account was in a hospital.
About, I think it's about 10:30. We heard some gunshots. When we realized that a certain man called Bamboo, it's called Bamboo, but the real name is Amuzu. He was a former seaman who came. He was about to come and buy some hardware from this store. They heard the gunshot. So one of our boys rushed to the scene, and it was told if he ventured, they would kill him. So everybody was astonished. Then they all went away. When we were in 2 badges, 2 motos, 2 motor cabs, they all bolted their way because they gave one shot. Whoever ventures, they will kill the person. So basically, everybody was afraid of coming near the scene. So they left before we saw he was lying in a pool of blood. What is so that they shoot his left leg. So you can see the blood oozing on the floor with the heart down. So he was rushed to the hospital. To do all that we know.
Nimi bia won ba wan hye max, wan hye hwe, wan hye helmet mpo. Na we dem we be dem action na wo dey dem was cry. We are tell one person we can broken am the Nigeria for. Also who is coming. Na we tell one person am the won fear.
The incident left many enthralled with fear. They say it's an incident that has never happened before in Cape Coast.
Oh, who ye been see had entinya yesro. Who pa yesro. And shops were around, and shops were had it. And so yesro, why am surprised?
The Central Regional Police Command is allaying the fears of residents. They say they are on a hunt for the 4 suspects. They caught the support of the public in order to apprehend the perpetrators. Regional Police PRO DSP Irene Sewa says the service has put a bounty of 5,000 Ghana cedis to be given to anyone who volunteers information leading to the arrest of the suspect.
The victim is at Cape Coast Teaching Hospital and he is responding to treatment. The Central Regional Police Command want to use this opportunity to appeal to the general public that anybody who have information about the robbery incident should contact the nearest police station or call 18555 and share that information with us. And we also have a booty of 5,000 Ghana cedi as a reward for anyone who will give credible information lead to the arrest of the perpetrators. Again, the command wants to assure the general public that there is no cause for alarm. Security situation is good, and we have strategized to help us to get the perpetrators arrested. Everybody can freely go about his or her duty, and the assurance is that we will continue to protect as it is a mandate of the service.
The 73-year-old man is currently receiving medical attention at the Cape Coast Teaching Hospital. Here is his brother.
Oh, he's fine. He's fine now. They shot his leg, the left leg.
The left leg. Okay.
The police assure that come what may, the suspect would be apprehended. Reporting for Joy News, Richard Kwejonya, Cape Coast.
Richard joins us on Zoom with more on this. Richard, let's start with the 73-year-old. Do you know how he's faring?
Also, we went to the Cape Coast Teaching Hospital to follow up on how he was doing, and we were told by the medical officials that he was responding very well. He was shot on the left leg, and as we spoke with the brother, he said that he was doing very well, and they are confident that he will be discharged very soon.
Residents are obviously worried with this incident. Is this a one-off incident or the latest in the series that has been happening in the Central Regional Capital?
Well, they say it's an incident such that they have never seen before. They hear them from afar in Accra and other areas, but they didn't suspect that it would be very close to them like that. 4 people in broad daylight staging what they would call a Hollywood movie of a sort. Without fear of anybody. It's something that they have never heard before, but they are reading meanings into that. They feel that it is the overflow of the Budumburam demolition that they are about to do, and that is why the spillover effect is what they witnessed today.
And the police is on the manhunt for 4 persons. Have they given any information on any leads as to the nature of the persons that they are looking for?
When we spoke with the police, they indicated that they picked some kind of vital information on the ground at the spot where the crime was committed, and they are confident that with the support of the general public, they would apprehend the suspects.
Thank you very much. That's our Central Region correspondent, Richard Kwejonya. And tonight, the Veterinary Service is urging citizens not to let their guards down as many more birds have been lost to bird flu. Many birds have either died or some destroyed after officials detected the avian influenza virus in various farms. This was part of measures to deal with the outbreak of the bird flu. Now, farmers have been counting their losses, expecting government to provide relief. But the Minister for Food and Agriculture, Dr. Owusu Akoto-Efuye, has given the clearest indication yet the government will not renege on this promise. He spoke to journalists in the Western region as part of his nationwide tour.
At the moment, I have a memo, a cabinet for seeking money for compensation to the farmers. So you better convey to them they shouldn't worry. I mean, this is my second experience. The first one when I was a member of parliament and the ranking member for Food, Agriculture and Cocoa Affairs in 2015, there was an outbreak. And we were in the forefront trying to force the government to give money for compensation. Now that I'm in charge, nobody can come and tell me. Rice, yes, rice, the same as OT, the same as Bono East, Bono itself, and Ahafu. They all have these valleys. I remember the figure when we were in Bono East, about 2 months ago, 3 months ago. They have 79 valleys. 79 valleys. I don't know whether Fojo can tell me how many valleys he has in this. How many valleys do you have? You have over 100. So you exceed Bono East. Okay, that's fine. The same for Uti and the others. And you know, when I became minister, 2017, the Korean ambassador then, who used to be a member of my tennis club, was telling me that his predecessor had invited a group of experts from Korea to Central Region. And he concluded that Central Region valleys alone can feed Ghana 3 times over, just Central Region.
Let's go into the phone lines now. We're joined by Dr. Bashir Boy Kimoto. He's with the Veterinary Services Directorate as Head of Public Health. Thank you very much, sir, for your time here on Joy News Prime. It's been a while we got an update from the service. What is the latest in terms of the birds that have died and the outbreak of bird flu?
Yeah, thank you very much for calling to know what is happening. You know, the Veterinary Services Directorate, the Minister of Food and Agriculture, has put a lot of measures to make sure that this bird flu or avian influenza, the highly pathogenic, is under control. However, it seems to be escalating in the sense that currently, as of the 29th of September, we have over 261,000 birds which has gone off the poultry industry in Ghana. And we think that this is actually affecting the poultry industry. And that is just excluding the eggs, the feed, the control measures that government has put in. So I think that currently this is what I know about. There could be more outbreaks because I know Eastern region has gotten their latest outbreak in Sawam and other places. Other regions are getting their own. You know, Upper West already had their own. So I think that there are a lot of reasons why this one is happening. The Poultry Farmers Association, they need to talk to their people to support the ministry to make sure that people don't move birds from one area to another. And secondly, also for the system to improve the employment of new veterinary doctors to support the system, because it's an emergency case and the numbers are increasing because of shortage of staff and then funds also not available as it's supposed to be. So I think these are some of the things that I can talk about now.
Over 251,000, that is huge. But are you monitoring the farms and are you carrying out the disinfections that you said you were doing to keep the situation under control?
You know, for that one, it's an international measure. The OIE, the World Organization for Animal Health, stipulates those guidelines everybody has to take, whether you're in America, Kazakhstan, Ukraine, Russia, or Ghana. You have to follow that method. We are following the same method. But the thing is that I think there's something missing. Either it's on the side of the poultry farmers themselves, or maybe due to the acute shortage of veterinary doctors in the system, it's actually making the disease spread from one place to another. But I call on the Poultry Farmers Association to educate their members not to throw away carcasses, make sure they get the veterinary involved to do the needful to prevent further escalation of the situation.
And
because
so
this is one of the worst outbreaks we are getting before, because it has not reached about 4 months, and we have already finished about 261,000 birds in Ghana, and that is more than 5 regions or constituencies combined. So it's a serious matter.
So clearly we are not out of the woods. We shouldn't expect to have this dealt with in the next few months, and citizens should be wary of their consumption of chicken?
Yeah, I think that
it appears we have lost Dr. Bashir Boy Kikumoto on the line there. We have we have issues with the network. We'll be working the phone lines now to speak to the Poultry Farmers Association, Victor Opon-Ejay. He is the president and he is on the line with us. Mr. Opon-Ejay, I'm grateful that you could join us. Dr. Bashir Kikumoto was saying that you need to get your members to make sure they do not move birds from one farm to the other. How are you complying? What can you tell us about compliance on the part of your members to ensure that we keep this under control?
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much, Ernest. I can assure you that you've done a lot of education and sensitization to the members. You know, bird flu came here since 2006, and we've worked a lot, especially to the farmers. We've shown them what to do and what not to do, especially on the biosecurity. We've also asked them not to be very careful with farm management. So for the farmers, a lot of education and sensitization has gone there.
And the major issue, or the issue that often defeats the protocols that you put in place, is the issue of compensation when these birds are lost, either destroyed or die as a result of the flu. Government is saying that a memo is before the Agric Ministry. We heard from the minister a while ago, and that the monies will be processed to be given to the farmers. Are you aware of the processes, and have you been involved in these deliberations?
Well, we are not very much aware, but we've heard that the memo is already gone to cabinet for compensation. You know, it's very hard to be infected with this bird flu virus, because the moment we detect a virus at your farm, all the birds are depopulated, and you cannot work for 6 months. So it makes it very difficult for the farmer to live. So it was a good news to hear that the government is ready to pay the compensation. But as of now, we've not had any communication as to how much they are going to pay or what. But first things first, now it's been accepted that the compensation will be paid. So we're looking forward for how much they are going to pay per bed.
Some of your members have raised issues. In fact, they do not have confidence in this promise because they claim that the last time we had the outbreak, some of them did not receive compensation at all, or it came in part. Can you confirm this for us?
Well, we cannot put the blame on the government, because at that very moment, the government approved 11 million, which went to Parliament, which was approved and given to the ministry. So about 1.1 million was the first payment made to the farmers. The second one was about 1.4 million, which was not paid. But if 11 million has already been approved,
Unfortunately, we have a terrible connection to Mr. Opon-Ejay there, who is the president of the Poultry Farmers Association. Let's go on to the other line. We're joined again by Dr. Bashir Boy Kikumoto. Dr. Boy, you were talking about how the general public, citizens, should be worried about their consumption of meat.
No, it's not about the consumption of meat. I think the journalists are more concerned about the consumption. You know, this is a virus. So people should not just concentrate on the consumption.
Okay.
The consumption is not the problem, because every Ghanaian cooks his food very well.
Okay.
And there's no problem, the virus will die. But the problem is that you get the virus when you are preparing or touching dead birds. It's not during the consumption. So I want the journalists to understand that it's not the consumption which is the most important thing.
There's the preparation.
Is the consumption. That's where the problem is coming from. Just like Ebola.
Okay. So contact with the birds if they are infected. That is where the issue is.
Yes, if you touch the infected bird and you wipe your eyes, if you pick the dead bird without protection and you wipe your nose, you get the disease. It's not the consumption. As for consumption, you know, Africans generally or Ghanaians, we cook our food very well. That one will not be the problem, but you may get it before even you eat the food.
Very well. Thank you so much. That's Dr. Bashir Boy Kikumoto. He's the Head of Public Health at the Veterinary Services Directorate. And in a separate development, the Minister has urged the region, that is the Western region, to utilize warehouses built there by government. Some farmers had complained about the lack of food storage in the region, but the Minister says there are some available that can be used.
Built 80 warehouses since we came into office around the country. I don't know how many of them are here. I've just taken over we have 5 in the region. So you can use that for storing inputs and also for outputs. We've taken over. We haven't decided yet how we're going to use them. But at least you have 5 of these, and each one of them is 1,000 metric ton capacity. So instantly you have 5,000 metric tons, which is more than enough for your rice and so on. This is outside cocoa board warehouses. So that's good for you. So you need to think about how you're going to use them. Now, on the rice compensation that Mr. Koto spoke about, it was a great shock to us and disappointment to see that so many farmers we failed them by giving them the wrong seeds. And instead of encouraging them, to discourage them. That's why there was such a sharp drop in the year following that. But I'm glad to see that it's picking up again. And it's picking up again precisely because of the market is there. People are coming to take your crop. And I believe that even people come across the border from Cote d'Ivoire to take Ghanaian rice. So the opportunity is there for further investment in the area.
My colleague Kweku Asante is following the Minister on his tour and joins us with more on this. Kweku, where else have you been and what has the Minister been saying?
The Minister has been touring some rice farms as well as rice milling factories, where he's been assuring them of government's commitment to ensure that the 2024 goal to ensure that Ghana is self-sufficient in terms of rice production and rice consumption is met. He's also been touring some cocoa facilities in the region. We are currently in the Western region, where the Minister went to a cocoa production company where they do chocolate and among other things. The Minister has been saying that the Akufo-Addo-led government is very much in tune with the demands and the needs of all these people, and they are ensuring that they are met to ensure that Ghana's production capacity is shored up. When the Minister met some chiefs and people in the Western North region, before we came here to the Western region, the chiefs had some issues with some silos that have been abandoned in the community. He also raised issues about swelling shoot disease that affects cocoa trees. You know that cocoa in the Western and Western North region is very huge over there. And so the chiefs raised the issue about destroying these cocoa trees and compensating farmers and also ensuring that proper seeds are gotten to be replaced with those seeds, those trees that will be cut. The Minister has been assuring that government is very much aware of the issues they've been facing, and they are putting in place measures to ensure that they are dealt with.
And we understand he's been responding to some comments made by the former President John Mahama.
Right. So when former President Mahama spoke some few weeks ago about the imminent food shortage, in his words, because he thought that there were no available fertilizers, the Minister responded then. But today, when he met some rice farmers as well as farming groupings in the region, has been saying that the former president is a naysayer, and is also one that has not taught the country as much as he has. And he has the data to ensure or to back the claims that in November and December this year, there will actually be bumper harvest. We know that his deputy minister had said something contrary a few weeks back, also saying that, of course, the food security situation was not that bad, but we were not out of the woods yet. But according to the minister, former President Mahama has not been touring the country as much as he has. And if the former president wants to fully appreciate the issues, he must go down to the regions to be able to understand that edit.
Thank you very much. That's my colleague Kweku Asante, who is with the Agric Minister on his tour of the country, visiting farmers and some farms to sustain the situation on the ground. Let me bring you something that will put a smile on your face. He failed to reach his potential as a footballer, but now wants to make a name for himself as the man at the center of the game. Alexander Kofi's dance moves while refereeing matches have made him an internet sensation overnight. Like him, many talents in the Bukom shantytown go unnoticed. But the new football competition staged on Monday night has given people like Alexander a platform to gain attention and is hoping he could attract support for himself and other acts in the area to break through. John News' Justice Bedu went for a game night in Bukom and sent us this report.
Alexander Kofi started playing cold football with Black Stars great Lai Kingston. Now he is a barber, plying his trade in the small kiosk inside Bukom. He has been a community referee at the middle of games in the shantytown after abandoning his football career. Like many talent here, he says he had no support growing up.
Here, if you want to get people, somebody will help you. It's hard. It's hard.
Despite his refereeing, Kofi, popularly called Referee Somo by many in Bukom, dances when manning games, and he has gone viral for his moves.
You know Bukom always fight, shouting, everything. They throw everything, stones. They bet too. They bet for them. So if maybe the goal not come here, then the crowd make noise. They throw everything. Then I'll talk to the DJ. They give me some small music. 10 minutes or 15 minutes or 20 minutes to entertain the crowd, make everybody calm down.
If Manchester is not coming on, people will beat me now because people are enjoying it. If you see the crowd over here, people are enjoying it. People are selling. A lot of people are bring chairs and take a price of the chair. A lot of people are enjoying my program or my Monday start and I'm doing it. So I'm very happy.
Like many of Ghana's inner cities, Bukom is heavily deprived. Poverty is widespread, birth rates are high, and talent abound.
I don't learn dance, but Bukom, everybody know dancing for them. Bukom, if you come to Bukom, from kiddie up to 100 plus, maybe adult party or anything. If you see Oluma or Oledikra, if you put music for ground, they go dance.
Although it's not professional, but when it comes to community referee, it's very, very perfect. And you know, with time, when it's been given a chance to try this referee course, you will be able to master up and gear and go higher.
This AstroTurf pitch, built by the government in 2020, has given a platform for some of the hidden stars here to come show what they can do. Many, like referee Somo, are waiting to catch attention. So unlike him, they can take their craft beyond the small slum. Justice Bedu, Joy News, Bukom.
And that is Justice Bedu's reports. This is Joy News Prime with me, and Esmino. Still to come, President Akufo-Addo extends Gender Minister Sarah Joseph's leave indefinitely after a TikTok video of the minister singing went viral, prompting concerns by some members of the public. Tell you how her absence affected decision-making at the ministry and led to delayed payment in some cases. And coming up in business, no load shedding as Gridco commences works in some parts of Accra. We'll hear from the Electricity Company of Ghana.
We wish to state emphatically that the media houses that released the publication about the load shedding timetable did not get their facts correct.
Hello, my name is Evans Mensah, and you can relive all the fun and excitement on Top Story, Newsnight, and of course, Ghana Connect via podcast. All you need to do is to log on to myjoyonline/podcast. Search for your favorite show and relive the moment. Joy 99.7 FM, your radio for discerning listeners.
Joy 99.7.
Hi, good evening. Welcome to Business. My name is Darryl Kwao. We are tackling some energy issues for you. The Electricity Company of Ghana, ECG, says there will be no load shedding, contrary to speculations. Speculations were fueled by an announcement by Gridco of some planned works in parts of Accra. But Managing Director of ECG, Kwame Ajimambudu, speaking at a press conference in Accra, assured the public of enough power to go around.
The Managing Director of Electricity Company of Ghana, ECG, Kwame Ajimambudu, speaking to journalists at a press conference, disclosed that they're preparing for the last phase of upgrade works which require engagement with stakeholders and regulators.
In Federance, we informed the public of the construction of the Pukwase and Kasua bulk supply points under auspices of MEDA. The Pukwase BSP, that's the bulk supply point, has been completed and commissioned. The Kasua BSP is yet to be completed, and we are almost about 98% done. The third intervention, which requires the stringing of lines from Accra, from Tema to Achimota, Achimota to Malam, and then Achimota to Accra Central, is being managed by Gridco.
According to him, they have just started with the process of discussing with Gridco to know the impact of the works on power supply. The MD also assured that they may not undertake any load shedding during the final phase of Gridco's project, since they plan to transfer load to the Kasua bulk supply point.
We would then have to look at the impact on our customers, so we devised means to mitigate it. We are yet to come out with the final timetable and the date of commencement. This last phase of the Gridco project has been ongoing without any major outages within the city. We wish to state emphatically that the media houses that released the publication about the load shedding timetable did not get their facts correct.
Now, the Association of Ghanaian Solar Industries has raised alarm that the country could be losing out on investments in the renewable energy industry as a result of government's decision to restrict importation and installation of solar equipment. It says some of its members have relocated to Liberia and other neighboring countries because the Energy Commission has placed a temporary ban on new licenses. General Secretary of the Association, Ejinim Boateng, told Joy Business the situation is likely to affect the country's renewable or green energy initiatives. He was speaking at the engineering, procurement and construction meeting by Huawei and Jubilee Bros in Accra.
General Secretary of the Association of Ghana Solar Industries, Ejinim Boateng, told Joy Business that the policy directives to stop businesses from installing solar equipment with prior approval by the Energy Commission is counterproductive. He was speaking at the engineering, procurement and construction meeting by Huawei and Jubilee Bros in Accra.
In speaking with the Energy Commission, we've written letters to the Ministry of Energy that it doesn't sit right that a company that wants to reduce electricity bills or as a means of carbon mitigation install solar, then you say we will not allow you, we will not give you the license to do it. It's a problem that we're fighting now. And currently in the association we have about 75 companies, 75 companies forming the association. Those are the people that have registered. Aside that, there are more. And these people are all affected by these decisions. So far, about 5 of our giants, we've seen them exit the market or are on their way exiting. And some have left to Liberia, some have left to Sierra Leone because of the situation in the system. If he continues like that, then it threatens over 700 jobs. And this must be of concern. And this directive came in at the time that the companies were reeling from the painful effect or impact of COVID.
The meeting was aimed at introducing stakeholders to the new trends of products emerging in the industry. Head of Solar at Jubilee Bros, Samson Amanya, has advised businesses to fall on solar and other forms of renewable energy due to the current ongoing climate change policy initiatives and cost of power.
It's free. It has the lowest maintenance for most of the renewable energy systems. And currently, solar is below grid parity, which means that currently solar is cheaper than the grid power. So these are all incentives. Plus, now the whole world is going green. We all know the issues with climate change and global warming. And solar is a key part that has been identified by the UNFCCC as a key ingredient that we can use to reduce the global warming issues that are happening. So yes, so from the ethical perspective, from the moral perspective, from the financial perspective, solar makes sense everywhere.
The association is making an appeal to government to reconsider its decision to save jobs in the industry.
The business update for now. We have more coming up in the next hour, including the latest from the Africa France Summit. Do stay tuned in for that. We're taking a short break. The news continues after this break.
Hello, my name is Nathaniel Atto. You can catch up with all the fun and inspiration on the Joy Sports link here on Joy 99.7 FM, together with all other shows over and over again. It's very simple. All you need to do is go to myjoyonline.com/podcast and relive all of those fun moments over and over again. Joy 99.7 FM, your radio for discerning listeners.
Joy 99.7.
Many thanks for staying with me. And former IBF champion Richard Oblitekomi's quest to reclaim world title glory is set to hit a high point as he faces fellow former champion Vasily Lomachenko of Ukraine. The fight, likely to come off in the first week of December this year, also has implications not only for Komi, but the lightweight division. The Ghanaian has a record of 33 wins and 3 losses, while Lomachenko, who previously held 3 titles, has suffered 2 defeats in 17 bouts. Nathaniel Atto has been analysing the relevance of this bout to the happenings in the lightweight division.
All right, so this is a bout of parallels in the sense that both boxers have similar stories to tell in the lightweight division. So you look at Richard Comey, who previously had the IBF title and lost to Teofimo Lopez, who is now the unified champion. You go to Vasily Lomachenko, who has a similar story as well. He had 3 of the 4 belts, the WBA, the WBO, and WBC, and also lost to the current unified champion, Teofimo Lopez. So both boxers are looking forward to that opportunity to get back at it and get a crack at the major title, and if possible, vie for all 4 titles that currently are held by Teofimo Lopez. Now, the interesting thing to also note, which also brings some similarity between the 2 boxers, Comey and Lomachenko, is the sense that both boxers have had very, very good comeback fights. Now, you take a look at Vasily Lomachenko, for instance, who fought last June against an Asian opponent, Nakatami, and defeated him in the 9th round. You also take a look at, Richard Comey, who also had a very good fight in his last bout, and that was in February this year. So when you put all of these together, you'd realize that both boxers are very focused on getting one thing. Now, in all of this, there is a certain level of competition as well, because the number 1 contender in the IBF rankings, the Australian, George Kambasis Jr., is also knocking on the doors. In fact, he is looking very, very likely to even get a crack at, the champion, Teofimo Lopez, faster than any of these 2. Now, in terms of who can get the opportunity earlier, we're also looking at Vasily Lomachenko in the sense that he is the number 1 contender on 2 of the ranking tables, which is the WBC and the WBO. So all of this put together, there is a lot around this December meeting between Vasily Lomachenko and Richard Comey, and it is more of a crossroad for the 2 boxers who've reached a certain point in their respective careers and need to move to the next stage. So it's bout on. Other details of the bout are going to be coming out in the week, and we're looking forward to it. It sure is going to be a very, very big one. Away from all of this as well, we're looking at a situation where the boxers, maybe 2 or 3 of them, can create, a fight system amongst themselves. And we can relate this to the quartet of yesteryear. We're looking at Sugar Ray Leonard, Marvin Hagler, Thomas Hearns, and Roberto Duran Samaniego. This quartet fought among themselves and created a whole new marketing buzz around their fights and created a whole new value for themselves. If we're able to get something similar in the lightweight division, it sure is going to go well. And if you have a trio of Vasily Lomachenko, Richard Comey, and the unified champion Teofimo Lopez, then of course, it sure is going to be welcome. So hey, all good to go. Every boxer has learned his lessons.
And the Black Stars of Ghana are fine-tuning preparations ahead of Saturday's World Cup qualifier against Zimbabwe. The Black Stars must beat the Warriors to stand any chance of making it to Qatar next year. Sports journalist Abeku Otri tells Joy Sports, resident of Cape Coast, will give the four-time African champions their full support on October 9.
Coasters are people who love the Black Stars. I mean, they love football, and they will want to see guys like Thomas Partey. The last time they saw a wonderful guy like Alexander Djiku do all the exploits, in defense. And they want to see more of that. And probably that permutation, if it happens again with Daniel Amate, will be fantastic for them. And they are now trying to know the core of the team. Of course, in the midfield, unfortunately, we will not be seeing Mubarak Wakaso again for reasons known to the technical setup. But they are now beginning to know the team gradually, and unfortunately, in the other game where CK was in the helms of affairs, they did not see the beauty of the game. They're expecting to see goals from Milovan because this time around, they believe that it should not be a one-goal project. Thing.
And that's it for this installment. We bring you more sports later in the bulletin.
Hello, my name is Nathaniel Atto. You can catch up with all the fun and inspiration on the Joy Sports link here on Joy 99.7 FM, together with all other shows over and over again. It's very simple. All you need to do is go to myjoyonline.com/podcast and relive all of those fun moments over and over again. Joy 99.7 FM, your radio for discerning listeners.
Joy 99.7.
And it's now time for the latest in the world of showbiz. My brother KMJ is here. He has all the latest, all the juice. What's up, bro? How are you doing?
I'm okay. As always, we're back. It's a work Wednesday.
What do you have for us today?
All right, so exciting news coming up. We have Jabril, who's a musician, spoken about the issue of Ghanaian royalties and then structures and systems and what Ghanaian musicians see, what is happening to them and what he thinks. Now we'll look at the details of that. And also, Big Brother Season 4 housemate, Tasha, has been with us, and we have some exclusive as well to share about how grateful she is.
Let's start with a story on the royalties.
Okay, so the fact that we've always complained about the royalty system over here and the structures and the government not helping and all of that. Now, Jibril, who is a Ghanaian musician that has tasted both the old era and the new, believes that if you have good management behind you, you wouldn't have to be fighting for royalties. Because the Nigerians don't do that. You hardly hear them talk about royalties.
He knows so or he thinks so?
I think that's the truth. Hardly would you hear any Nigerian artists complain about royalties. It's because they think that they have what it takes to push themselves, and that's what they are ready to do.
Okay,
let's hear from him.
Now 2 years since I moved back, and I just think that value is placed in the wrong place when it comes to our attitude towards certain things, and that value needs to be shifted in the right place. I think even management, before you can blame the system, let's look at your management, the people around you, because you can't always depend on the system, but you can create a system that works. If your technique or your mechanism is properly oiled and you got a good machine, meaning good people that are thinking about how to overcome obstacles, because like we said, the obstacles are not new. So if they're not new, why are we all making the same mistakes over and over again? This generation, the next generation. But then you look at certain scenarios. You think Nigeria doesn't have the same problem with royalties? They probably do. Look how big they are. We all have the same mindset because we're all West Africans. But look at the success rate of the up and coming Afrobeat acts. They are very successful. they're not there sitting there crying for royalties because they're traveling around the world and they're doing shows and they're picking up money.
I've never had any Nigerian musicians.
I've never had me say, oh, I'm not getting my royalties. Rather, you go see them, private jet, they travel across Lagos, they travel across the world, but they have a properly oiled machine. These guys do not do all the work themselves, you know, and that's very important.
Well, I get the context in which you're speaking, but that is also not to say that we don't have to put in place the right structures.
Absolutely, and that's what we've been fighting for all these years. But I mean, for the past 20 years now, we've been doing the same fight for this royalty is not working. So what do? We move on.
It must work, but then we must also get the other things right.
Now, Tacha is a Nigerian Big Brother housemate, season 4. She was in town today. We had an exclusive interview with her. Now, you know she was disqualified during the season because she had a fight. And I asked her if that has really affected her and she regrets ever, going into all of those things. She says she has 0 regrets. Here's Tacha.
I love to move, right? I don't like to dwell in the past or be like, oh, I regret doing this stuff, or if I had an opportunity, I would do this. If I had an opportunity, I would do nothing different. Trust me, I have 0 regrets, no cap. Trust me, because whether I like it or not, like my past is the reason why I'm who I am right now. And all we have to do is learn. Like life is all about learning. It's about growing. It's about like upgrading how you think. And I'm grateful for my past. Like my past is the reason why I'm shaped into the Tacha that I am right now. And I'll trade it for nothing. I'm not going to change anything. If I have to be in the house, I will be more louder than I was the last time. So it's like, we move. That's it. We move. Yeah.
Congratulations, by the way, on the new house.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. How much did that cost?
Oh my gosh, how much did that cost? Jesus Christ. On national television. We need
there's a lot of millions.
We need to trim out the studio. But it's been amazing. And that's the
and
thing,
I'm super proud of you for that.
Exactly. And that's the thing. I mean, like, when the show concluded, I had to tweet and I was like,
all right, bro. We move.
Yeah, we move. And
Thank you.
She's excited about it. And I'm also happy for her. With the full interview will be showing very soon on Joy Prime as well. So they should watch out for that.
Thank you very much. That's KMG with the latest in the world of showbiz. If you're watching us on Joy Prime, that's it for the bulletin. Thank you so much for joining us. If you enjoy news, we have more stories for you. Please stay.
Hello, my name is Evans Mensah, and you can relive all the fun and excitement on Top Story, Newsnight, and of course, Ghana Connect via podcast. All you need to do is to log on to my Joy Online/podcast. Search for your favorite show and relive the moment. Joy 99.7 FM, your radio for discerning listeners.
Joy 99.7.
Thanks for staying with us here on Joy News Prime. Management of the Drabin Oil Mills Limited in the Ashanti region have suspended operations after 3 workers died in an industrial accident at the company. 3 other victims who sustained injuries have been responding to treatment at the hospital. Lab News is learning a leakage at one of the mill's boilers spilled hot steam and water on 6 workers. Erastus Asaridonko has more.
A mom mourns her son, one of the 3 victims of Tuesday's incident at the Drabin Oil Mills. Francis Echampon, 27, died shortly after admission at the Konfanochi Teaching Hospital. His brother was with him in his last moments.
No company.
We spoke earlier and he constantly asked for water till he passed. We are in pain. Now the house is full of people as if it's a memorial.
Management of the company says a mechanical failure at one of their boilers spilled hot steam and water on the 6 workers. Nanaya Osrebo is the supply chain manager of the company.
It wasn't fire, it wasn't an explosion. We not had an explosion of our boiler. No, it wasn't like that. It's a mechanical failure on a part of the boiler that resulted in steam coming out to engulf people who were working beneath. For the past 40 years that the company has been in operation, nothing of this nature has ever happened before.
So have you suspended operations for now?
Yes, definitely. For such a traumatic situation, we have to consider the plight of management and that of employees who have lost we have all lost our loved ones, and we have to sit down and then reflect and console the bereaved family.
There were 3 survivors. One of them, Apia Emmanuel Boachi, is still on admission at the Komfanachi Teaching Hospital. This is his mother.
When we visited him at the hospital, he was a bit okay. We bought food for him. Now he has been bandaged all over the body except the face.
It is difficult at the moment to tell what exactly happened which led to the death of 3 people. The incident happened in one of the boilers behind me. I understand that there was a mechanical failure which led to the opening of steam on these workers. 6 of them, 3 confirmed dead, 3 have been treated. This is a company that has been working for 40 years without any incident per the records available. Until experts finish their investigations, we will never know what actually caused this incident. Reporting for Joy News, Erastus Asaridonko, Jabin, Ashanti Region.
Officials of the AMA Wednesday stormed the Agbogbloshie market in Accra. Now, the insanitary conditions there was their focus, but the team uncovered a raft of illegalities being perpetrated by some traders and other workers within the enclave. For instance, a welder who was found to be operating in a filthy environment was also found to be operating without a work permit. Others were also found to have connected illegally to electricity. They were all served notices and expected to appear in court Thursday. Michael Papani Ashale was with the Clean Ghana team, and here's his report read to you.
The Accra Metropolitan Assembly moved to clamp down on companies flouting environmental and health safety protocols within the Agbogbloshie industrial area. Richard Sagbaji, who is a welder there, had a lot of questions to answer.
The head of our presence here, so unceremoniously, nobody is around.
Yes.
Where's your urinal? Huh? Where's your urinal for your clients? Let's go. I'll come here. We'll take him through all that. Let's go and let me show you something here. Come, let's visit this place. This your urinal? Yes. So, my brother, come and stand here. You, I need you. Be with me here. Because it's for you. Yes. Isn't it? Yeah. So, this is your urinal here. And this is how it is. Because you are lucky you have air drain here. So you urinate here. What form of disinfection do you apply here or cleaning the place?
We used to clean it.
But today you haven't cleaned it.
We clean it all the time.
All the time.
Even yesterday we clean it. But the dust is coming from down here, not my place. It's coming from the filling station down here. The people who came to the filling station to urinate, they dump the dust inside the hose there, and the other dust from the gutter drain to this place.
The plastics or dust?
I'm talking about the plastic rubbers and those rubbish.
So after now, this place, you have been able to cement here and look at the stench that is coming out. You telling me that you have been able, you scrub here, you wash here?
Please, I'm not the only one person or only the shop people urinate here. The whole area here or they urinate here.
Who put up the structure?
I put it.
So if you
at first they used to urinate all these places, so but for me just to help the public, that is why I did this thing here. Yes.
So all that you have to do now is you have to take it as a responsibility. Any Muslim brother or sister who's coming to attend the urinal, okay, you let the person know that this is a bin. Where's your bin? If you finish whatever plastic that you are holding there, put it into the bin. At the end of the day, you will dispose the bin off and bend whatever plastic that you are generating. All this plastic find its way into the drain. You paid your business operating permit. The business operating permit is the license, the tax that you pay to the assembly.
That's what I'm saying that you should.
So you need to let your boss, that thing you have to paste it here.
My boss was the one who paying that money.
Director, you have to put, when you pay, make photocopy and have it here. As at now, we can assume that you haven't paid.
What I'm saying is that it's my
No,
boss
but I'm
who
saying
take
that
care
by
of that.
our law, we assume that you haven't paid.
You just told us that you have acquired that permit in 2004.
Yeah.
Is that so?
That is the AMA permit.
Yeah. 2004.
Yes.
So you are telling us now that since 2004 you have not in any way acquired any new permit. Is that so?
Yes.
That's so. Yes. Simply means that since 2004 you have not paid, but business operating permit is subject to renewal every year.
Right now you come here, I don't know anything about all these things, and then you people say that you are giving me this thing and all that. No, I don't think.
He was served notice for first the insanitary state of the makeshift washroom and then for working without an operating permit.
Listen, get it clear. Get it clear.
Yeah.
We are not fining you. We don't have the power to fine you instantly. We are sending you to court. So your charges are: 1, you are operating a welding shop without fire extinguisher. Okay. 2, insanitary urinal facility. You don't clean it. 3, poor. Listen. Let me finish and you come. 3, poor wiring system. All the wires are exposed, which you are supposed to insulate them. You have to insulate them to prevent negative power, negative and positive coming together to create fire. That is what you need to do. You yourself, you know that all the wires you are supposed to insulate them. Is it not true? Is it not true? Are you not supposed to insulate them? Okay. And then 4, your absence of AMA business operating permit. Your license for 2019, 2020, 2021, you don't have it. So we are going to prosecute you for all these charges.
The offender, Richard Segbaji, later pleaded with Assembly to take steps to educate the public on its rules.
If they know that we should do the right thing, they should come on air and then tell us that, oh, let us do this and this and this. And when we refuse to do that, they can take us to court. But if we as ignorant, we don't know anything about this, and then they came and said they are sending us to court, what are we going to say in court?
And that's it for Joy Clean Ghana campaign this week. We may be next in your area, and so just make sure the environment is clean and you obey the laws as well. Now, away from that, one of the 18 boys who was allegedly sodomized by his mathematics teacher called Nantogma Otabil with the Kulpi JHS at Kulpi, a farming community in the East Gonja municipality of the Savannah region, said he was abused on 3 separate occasions, with one of them taking place in the suspect's farm. The victim, who is preparing for his basic certificate examination, said he was first invited together with his colleagues by the suspect to his farm, but was later invited alone in his private residence, only for him to be abused.
First of all, they send us to farm. They send us to farm that. And after we come back from farm, he said we should be home. By 7 p.m. I should come back. So I come back and he said I should enter and pick something for him. So when I entered and he entered and closed the gate and locked it. And he came and touched me as if he's joking and be laughing. And he pushed me on his bed. So the way he's doing it, as if he's joking, and I do my home. Because the way the man is, he can play with you anyhow. So then he removed my this and my trouser and start doing it. Start breaking it.
How many times did he do it with you?
3 times.
3 times.
The victim also alleged that apart from the first and the third incidents which took place in the suspect's private residence, he was also sodomized in the suspect's farm. Another victim, name withheld, bemoaned how he was manhandled by the suspect on countless occasions, to the extent that the suspect wanted him to also have his time with him, but he couldn't bear the pains.
One day he invited me alone to his house and talk about, I can't remember what he talked about. So when I woke up, I go in back home, he picked my bike and he stopped on the way where the kids' rooms was. And he pulls me behind his penis and he now started press my penis and my anus too. So I just confused and I feel shy about it. He sent me to the way the kids' room was and he pushed me on the wall and he did that to me. So after that, he said I should wait and he went back to his room and brought me drink.
So how many times did he do that with you?
I can't remember.
Countless times.
It's uncountable.
Joy News' check in the community indicated that the suspect was posted from another region in the year 2016 to Kulpe Junior High School in the East Gonja municipality of the Savannah region as a mathematics teacher. And until his alleged nocturnal activities came to light, the suspect was said to be a close pal to majority of the male pupils in the school, with some of them sometimes pass the night with him. While describing the incident as abomination, relatives of some of the victims told Joy News that all they need from GES and the court is for justice to prevail.
When they came, the children confessed that it's true, that teacher has been having sex with them through their anus. And that very day, 9 of the children owned up. But on the next day, that was on Tuesday, and when the news came out, about 6 of them also came out and repeated the same thing.
My biological brother is part of the victim. In fact, actually, when the teacher was being posted here, that was 2016, we all took me as what? A friend, because it's what? Friendly. And normally he will make friends with the boys, asking them for helping him at the farm. So from there, some of the boys have been sleeping with him there as what? Friends. We didn't know this was the man he's going to take.
In recounting the incident to Joy News, the public relations officer of the Savannah Regional Police Command, Inspector Ajekun Owusu, said the suspect, whose plea was not taken by the Salaga Magistrate Court, has been slapped with 18 counts of unnatural carnal knowledge under Section 104, subsection A1 of the Criminal Offence and Defilement.
Community youth are preparing themselves to go and lynch one teacher by name Nantoma Otabel. So in order not to allow the people to do that, they are coming to seek the assistance of the police to rescue the teacher. So police asked them what was the problem, and according to them, they said they've heard that the teacher has been sodomizing some of the pupils. So police quickly, yes, the accused person has been charged with 2 counts, and these counts are in groups because it is based on the number of children he sodomized. So those who ages ranges between 13 and 15, he was charged defilement, and those above 16, he was charged with having unnatural carnal knowledge.
Now, President Akufo-Addo has extended the leave of absence from office for the Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection, Sarah Adwoa-Safo. The Domi Kwabena MP had taken a leave of absence for personal reasons, which was to have ended on the 31st of August 2021. But she did not resume duty, prompting concerns by some who complained about her absence affecting decision-making at the ministry. Journeys checked with some agencies which work closely with the ministry showed that in some cases there were delayed payments due to largely her absence at the ministry. It is not clear why the minister sought leave, but what may have prompted the presidency to issue the statement on her absence may be a TikTok video of the minister singing, which went viral, which has raised some eyebrows.
Hey, Udini be afraid. Udini be afraid, Raddy. Dini be afraid, Yami. Ain't you Raddy? You want in Nibium? Hey, yes, you want in Nibium. Ah, you want in Nibium. Raddy, such as I am. In from this one, my winning. ma wonni me hamoda. Yawadi anibium. Yesu yawadi anibium. Yesu yawadi anibium. Yesu nyamiba. Name for my this one, my winning, and my winning in her mother. Father, we glorify your holy name. We give you honor, we give you glory. We thank you, Father, Lord, for how far you brought us. Thank you, Jesus. You said you will lay a table before us in the presence of our enemies. Thank you, Jesus, for how far you brought us.
So that was the Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection, Sarah Adjustafo, who had posted a video of herself, on TikTok that went viral today. And a few hours after, the presidency released a statement on the minister. Justice Bedu joins me on Zoom with details of the statement. Justice, what does it say?
So as the statement reads that the President of the Republic, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, has extended the leave of absence from office for Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection, the Honorable Sarah Adjustafo, who is also MP for Dome Kwabenya, which was to have ended on August 31, 2021. The minister sought leave of absence for personal reasons, the statement says. In her absence, it says, until further notice, the President has directed that the Minister for Sanitation and Water Resources, the Honorable Cecilia Apinadapa, would be taking care of that particular ministry. And the letter, which was signed by the communications director at the presidency, Eugene Ahin, was released to the media today, Ernest.
And we have been doing some checks and speaking to some organizations which work closely with the gender ministry. What did they say about her absence and how it is affecting the administration and decision-making at the ministry?
So, Ernest, indeed, many of the organizations that have always worked under this ministry, many of them NGOs who work in the areas of poverty alleviation and human rights, child protection, social protection issues. Many of them who have been speaking with us have told us of many projects and partnerships and activities that were to be implemented, many of which have stalled now because there seem to be not the leadership to be able to get some of these letters signed, contracts signed off and
Unfortunately, we lost my colleague Justice Bedu there, but essentially these organizations have been complaining that they have not been able to execute some of their plans because of the absence of the minister and because other technical people there do not have a clear sense of direction. Justice, you were talking about how the agencies are affected and especially the school feeding program. You did a story on that as well as the LEAP program as well, Justice.
Mm-hmm. Yes, so LEAP, for example, has been in arrears now for about 4 months, and there is no word from the ministry or from the LEAP Management Secretariat, which is the organization that is under the ministry directly, that is supposed to ensure these payments. So a lot of the very poor, vulnerable people who are waiting for payment are not sure what is going to happen now. Only last week we had some caterers under the school feeding program who are also supposed to cook for children and young people in primary schools across the country, protesting over unpaid allowances and certificates that they had submitted to the ministry that hadn't been honored yet. And it's all because part of the things that we've been speaking about the seeming sense, the vacuum that's been left at the ministry, part of which is the minister's absence.
Thank you very much. That's my colleague Justice Bedu there. Now, who will you put your money on? A beautiful girl at a pageant or a baby in need of critical medical care to survive? Well, many of you would easily opt to support children, but the reality is different. Whereas beauty pageants and entertainment shows get more sponsorships and support, the opposite is the story for children in need. The Rich Hospital says this must change. There's more in the following Health Desk report.
The Greater Accra Regional Hospital has one of the best facilities for the treatment of children facing various ailments, from preterm babies through children with cancers to those who may be struggling to breathe as a result of choking from feeding. But the best is still not enough. The facility is faced with resource challenges requiring public support. The appeal met the benevolence of Unique Insurance, which donated 20,000 Ghana cedis and assorted items for the upkeep of children there. Managing Director Victor Obing Ediya wants government to provide increased tax incentives to companies that invest in health and education.
I will encourage other corporate bodies to follow suit what Unique Insurance has done. Even if it's not Ridge Hospital, there are other hospitals around. We need to help them. The health workers really need help. If you get closer to them, they realize that they need help. You know, our dear lady here, the nurse, was asked, what do you need? The list was so tall that he couldn't even mention them. You know, it took a while before she could start, listen. I'm sure if you go back to them, she will even say more. So I encourage all corporate bodies, bigger and smaller, Widows Might will help. Let's take our CSR very seriously. And I'm praying that government will help corporate bodies who devote parts of they should increase the tax holidays and tax rebates for companies that, devote a chunk of their budget for CSR. And they can even, to encourage people more, you can even say that if you do more of health and education, your tax discount is, let's say, 5%. If you do for beauty pageant, yours is 0.5%. I'll go for that so that we stay with health and do more for health and education in this country.
Survival of children in Ghana has significantly improved since the last 30 years, according to data from UNICEF. From around 130 deaths out of every 1,000 births in 1991, the situation has improved with less than 50 deaths out of every 1,000 births. But more remains to be done in achieving zero deaths. Head of the pediatric unit of the Greater Accra Regional Hospital, Dr. Yvonne Brew, is concerned that corporate Ghana and individuals are not showing as much interest in the survival of children as they're doing for the entertainment industry.
When you write to companies for support, you are competing with beauty pageants, and it's very difficult when you have a beautiful girl on one side and you have a sick child on the other side. The companies tend to take the beautiful girl and leave the sick child, and so we have to always, and it's happening all over. Pediatricians all over Ghana have to use their own money many times to help get care for children. So I think that, yes, government should really consider giving a tax holiday to companies that support education and health. I think that will go a long way to really help our children survive. We want our children to survive and we want them to thrive. We want every child to get good health care. We want every child to go to school. And we think that it is a call in the right direction.
UNICEF has highlighted the role of corporate organizations in helping to improve child well-being, especially in countries where government support is not enough.
The inability of nursing mothers to find the proper balance between breast milk and complementary feeding has been identified as one of the major causes of infant malnutrition in Ghana. This was disclosed by the acting head of the Children's Hospital here in Accra, Dr. Faye Boama-Mensah, as Cocoa Plus Foundation presented some 9,000 sachets of nutritional supplements to the hospital. Here's Parkwesi Shando's report read to you. Malnutrition remains a threat to the development of children across the globe. Research conducted by Cocoa Foundation discovered that a total of about 90,000 children in Ghana suffer from various forms of malnutrition which could lead to death. Acting head of the Princess Marie Louis Children's Hospital, Dr. Faye Boama-Mensah, has among other factors attributed the situation to poor breastfeeding.
A lot of the problems I personally see occur after 6 months because, well, some women actually don't know what to feed their children with after 6 months. They genuinely don't know. There are others too. The children introducing babies to different foods, different textures can be very challenging. And a lot of the infants might just still prefer to take the breast milk. And of course, it's easier for the mothers to breastfeed and not be bothered about giving anything else. But we know that up to 6 months, yes, breast milk provides all the nutrients that the child needs for optimal growth and development. But after 6 months, we need to start supplementing. And that's where the challenge comes about.
A registered dietitian at the facility, Prisla Tetedonko, also had this to say.
When it comes to feeding children, it starts from the breastfeeding period, the first 6 months of life. And usually when mothers are not supported to initiate breastfeeding early, then later they have challenges with feeding their children. And the children become malnourished. And when it comes to the next 6 months, when it's the complementary feeding period, where they have to add other foods to breast milk to help the children grow well, if they don't know the right kinds of foods to give in addition to breast milk, then the children become malnourished.
As part of their corporate social responsibility, the Cocoa Plus Foundation has donated some 9,000 sachets of Cocoa Plus to the Princess Mary Louise Children's Hospital. The supplements are to be given to 300 children. The director of the foundation, Kennedy Bonfe, explains the benefits of Cocoa Plus.
Cocoa Plus is a protein micronutrient powder that was developed in Ghana, locally produced from locally available raw materials to solve a local problem of malnutrition, infant malnutrition. It is meant to be given to children aged 6 months to 24 months. And the reason is that the children in that age group, about 19% of them are too short for their age. And that we call that stunting. Stunting, it's not just the physical appearance of a child that, they are too short for their age, but the fact that cognitive development is severely affected because the nutrients they require for development are not sufficient for them. So we made this product to help address that problem. We've done several scientific investigations prior to the development of the product and also after its development. And we've been able to establish that it actually reduces the extent of the problem I just described. It prevents anemia and also reduces the incidence of acute infection among children.
He also intimated the foundation is making plans to extend donation to other parts of the country, especially rural areas.
We have a partnership with the Ghana Health Service that allows us to go to various districts. So far we've covered about 30% of the districts in Ghana, and we want to continue to do that. So this is not an initiative that sits in the capital of the country or in the regional capitals, but we rather want to go to the places where the problems are actually acute, and then we help to address that.
October 4 to 8 each year is observed as Malnutrition Awareness Week. Parkwisi Shandos reports for Joy News. This is Joy News Prime with me, and Asmin. My colleague Daryl Kwao is standing by with more business stories. But after this break, don't go away.
Hello, my name is Evans Mensah, and you can relive all the fun and excitement on Top Story, Newsnight, and of course, Ghana Connect via podcast. All you need to do is to log on to my Joy Online/podcast. Search for your favorite show and relive the moment. Joy 99.7 FM, your radio for discerning listeners.
Hello, welcome once again to Business. My name is Daryl Kwao. Ghana is open for business, and so are we. Words from some French and African investors taking part in the New France Africa Summit. Ahead of this event on Thursday, the investors who have gathered at the Ambition Africa Summit, a business conference between African and French investors, say Ghana turned out to be the country with the favorable investment potential here in Africa. Charles Aite has more in this report.
Ahead of the France Africa Business Summit, which is going to be taking place at Montpellier, we're going to be seeing French President Macron address the business community. We're here at Ambition Africa, where entrepreneurs have been meeting with prospective investors, as well as sharing their stories to attract investment into their respective countries. I got in touch with the Chief Executive Officer of the Ambition Africa, in the person of Alex Barrow, the trade facilitator for this event, and he is quite optimistic about the fortunes for Africa, especially Ghana's One District, One Factory initiative. He says it is part of plans by the France investment community to invest heavily into matters of manufacturing.
This is debate around the question of production and needs,
mais aussi sur la transition climatique,
but also around climate transition.
On peut plus faire voyager des produits alimentaires du continent vers l'Europe ou ailleurs, et puis les réimporter. On le voit, moi j'ai visité, alors je n'étais pas au Ghana, mais j'ai visité l'usine de chocolat C'est Moi il y a quelques semaines à Abidjan.
So we can no longer export foodstuffs from Africa and then re-import them in a different form. That's no longer possible.
Meanwhile, I've been getting in touch with some investors here in the Africa Summit, the big Africa Fund Summit, who are also confident of so much leverage when it comes to attracting what they have to investors here in France. Some of them who are also optimistic about the fortunes in Ghana are so much concerned about the fact that Ghanaian authorities lack some sense of availability when it comes to areas for them to invest in goods and services in.
In terms of what Ghana should and can do to meet the expectations of investors, I think we need to really sit and figure out what it is that investors want and which of them we can provide. And those that we can provide, we have to make sure that we make resources available to make sure these targets and expectations are met.
It's becoming one of the center of attention lately from the rest of the world. You would know that there's programs like a lot of African Americans are relocating to Ghana. You have a lot of artists who are interested in moving into Ghana. So Ghana is positioning itself to be the center of Africa's economic hub.
Our first investment in Ghana will be based on petroleum industry. For petroleum, actually, we're seeing the most potential actually because it's one of the resources that Ghanaians have. So from the example of our president, beloved president of Ghana, so let us actually push investment into petroleum industry. In our database, actually, investors that are approaching us, they're coming all for petroleum industry.
It must be stated that the Africa Fund Summit is the very first of its kind as part of efforts by the French government to redefine business ties between its counterparts in Africa. Already there are concerns about the reason why this conference was held without African heads of state, but authorities and organizers of this event are very confident that engaging civil society and entrepreneurs across the continent gives them enough leverage to tell their story and redefine trade routes in the best possible way. I'm Charles Ayes reporting from Paris, France.
All right, Charles Ayes reporting from Montpellier there for us. Now let's turn to issues with the Tema Oil Refinery, and energy strategist Dr. Yusuf Sulemana is calling for stable leadership for the Tema Oil Refinery to fix the challenges facing the firm. He says this is crucial to enable the refinery run well. TOR has been hit with challenges, the latest being theft by staff, leading to astronomical losses. The matter is currently being investigated, and Dr. Sulemana says TOR must be treated like a proper business.
TOR, for the last 5 years, they have changed more than almost 5 managing directors. Now, what has happened, I thought maybe if we actually had a leader, maybe a leader would have been taken responsible. You see that they've taken about more than 10 people accountable for various, departments, within the infrastructure. So what I'm just trying to say is that TOR is critical and is key to our energy security. So the high time the government of the day gets a very stable leadership, a leader who will have business focus, a leader who will treat the refinery like a business entity, not the business as usual. So, and then the fact that we have nothing of that, we don't have board in place, these are all worrisome, So assuming we had a solid leadership in place, and probably the government of the day will give the leader some kind of KPIs. What I mean by KPIs, some key deliverables. Say, I need you to do so and so with a time frame. If the person is not able to do that, then the government kicks the person out. And I think one of the key issues or one of the KPIs that I thought the government could add to any leader, any business focus or any business-minded leader who would have been selected by now would have been the internal porosity, the internal leakages. All right. So if you have a leader now and the government gives the leader KPIs, including plotting the loopholes, even if it's the topmost priority, that I'll give you the opportunity to plug the loopholes within the refinery. I think that would be the best starting point. So yes, anyhow you look at it, I think leadership is accountable for this. I'm not saying it's wholeheartedly that's going to be accountable, but leadership is key to this issue.
Now, cedi notes in the 1 and 2 denominations will soon be phased out of the Ghanaian economy. Now, the decision by the Bank of Ghana has received mixed public reaction. Anita Sewa-Juga interacts with traders and some players in the informal sector in Kumasi on the impact on their businesses.
The Bank of Ghana has decided to phase out the 1 cedi and 2 cedi notes due to poor handling. The 2 denominations will be replaced by their coin equivalent respectively. But how is this going to affect day-to-day transactions?
25-year-old Kwame Ansa, a trotro mate at Tech Junction, laments the coins will be too heavy and bulky to carry along. He fears the elimination of the 1 and 2 cedi notes is going to make his work stressful.
Due to the heaviness of the coin, he will become sluggish when working.
Unlike other trotro mates, Ansa has a specific way of folding his money. He carefully counts the money, folds it horizontally into 2, and puts it in his pocket to avoid mishandling the note.
To prevent mishandling of notes, I always fold it horizontally.
Some drivers at Tech Junction are, however, pleased with the Bank of Ghana's decision to phase out the cedi note.
The 5 cedi note should also be phased out. We are happy with the Bank of Ghana's decision.
They believe introducing rubber-like money is the best way to curb mishandling of currency notes.
The traders should be blamed for mishandling the cedi notes.
Switching from the 1 and 2 cedis paper notes for some Christians may affect their attendance to church. They hope the bank will refrain from the decision.
A lot of people will stop going to church. I prefer the note because the coin makes noise when dropped in the offering bowl.
Anita Sewa-Juga's report read to you.
Did you hear that? Most people stop going to church. That's business for tonight. My name is Daryl. Our morning is on our website, myjoyonline.com/business. Sports is up next.
Hello, I'm Dori Nando. You can catch up with all the fun on the Cosmopolitan Mix and on all our shows via podcast. Just go to My Joy Online podcast and search for your favorite show and relive those moments all over again. Only on Joy 99.7 FM, radio for discerning listeners.
Super Hits Radio, Joy 99.7.
Welcome back to Sports on Joy News Prime. I'm Hans Mensando. Let's begin with sports infrastructure development because His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo has commissioned the ultra-modern Kokwase AstroTurf in the Bantama constituency in the Kumasi metropolis. There is more in this report.
This football pitch, which sits in the heart of the Bantama constituency in the Kumasi metropolis, was grassless and undulating 12 months ago, but today it is a state-of-the-art facility which boasts of a standard football pitch, panel mesh fence, floodlights, and a 500-seater stand. The facility was commissioned by His Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo at a grand ceremony graced by several prominent people in the country. Member of Parliament for Bantama constituency, Francis Asensu-Boakye, who solicited financial support from the National Lottery Authority, has underlined the importance of the Kokwase AstroTurf.
It means a lot to me
because the idea behind this project is to help unearth the football talent across the four corners of this constituency. I think I've earlier mentioned that this particular pitch, football park, has produced some of the best players Ghana has ever had. The likes of Kwesi Appiah, the likes of Prince Opoku, the likes of Safu Jemfi. And for some time now, we haven't had a very good football pitch for the people in this constituency to play football. So it is a very joyous moment for me and the rest of the members of this constituency to have this sporting facility, AstroTurf facility, commissioned that can serve as a training ground for all these kids who are loitering about, who after school can come here and train. And who knows, next we can have the world best footballer in the near future from this particular constituency. That is the goal.
The Kokwase AstroTurf was constructed by Robert Coleman's Wembley Sports Construction Company Limited, experts in artificial football pitches. The company is not relenting in its efforts to pursue the one constituency, one AstroTurf agenda.
And WBC and linear heavyweight world champion Tyson Fury and former heavyweight world champion Deontay Wilder made their grand arrivals in Las Vegas on Tuesday evening to officially kick off Fight Week for their highly anticipated heavyweight title trilogy showdown taking place this Saturday, October 9. It's happening on Saturday night. We'll be sure to bring you more updates as we go on. That's it for sports. You can read more at myjoyonline.com/sports.
Hello, my name is Nathaniel Atto. You can catch up with all the fun and inspiration on the Joy Sports link here on Joy 99.7 FM, together with all other shows over and over again. It's very simple. All you need to do is go to myjoyonline.com/podcast and relive all of those fun moments over and over again. Joy 99.7 FM, your radio for discerning listeners.
Joy 99.7.
And a lot more to the stories we've been telling you. My name is Ernest Minu. Enjoy the rest of our programs. Up next is PM Express with Evans Mensah.